Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome. This is always Alex. Thank you. Anyway, this is gonna be for a reading. This is gonna be for Scorpio. This is gonna be for Scorpio for June 22nd to June 30th of 2026. So for you, Scorpio, I understand what you're going through in every single way, every single definition of what you're going through. In many ways, you think that you're gonna have a good day. Maybe you're gonna have the way how this is. By the way, it's like this is how it goes, right? So I understand what you're going through, Scorpio, but the way how this is, in that way, you have to have your own way and your own abilities to understand what you're going through, right? It's the way how it works, and you have to understand that because the way of how you're going to impose of your own dignity and your own respect, you have to understand that. You have to be what you can, say, alright, well, this is how it goes. I got this, alright, but this is how it is. Yes, but in many ways, you have to understand what you're going through in that way, right? So this is how it goes. So let's see what's going on. So you have basically the Knight of Cups, you want romance, and the Seven of Pentacles reverse, you already have a career. Now, those two are very differences. Because Scorpio, if you're looking for romance, go ahead. If you already have a career, go ahead. But the way this is, you understand that, right? So romance and career are different words. But the way this is like this is the way it goes in that way, and you think that to yourself, it's like, all right, this is how it goes. So Scorpio, you might be dealing with an Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio as well, but that's what it seems to be in that way. Okay, so that's how it goes. So the way of this is, you have to have your own momentum, your own ability to understand what you're going through, because in that way you have to go through so many ways of knowing what to do, and you think to yourself like, well, this is how it goes, right? This is the way it is. So you have to have the way of having your own substitute, and your own substitute has the way of knowing what to do, and that's how it goes. So you think to yourself, it's like, all right, this is the way it works, this is the way it goes, this is the way it seems to be, right? So you have to understand that you have to have your own progress, and you have to have the basic way of knowing what to do, and you think to yourself is like, okay, this is how it goes, this is the way it is, but that's what it seems to be, okay? So this is how it goes. So the way of this is, basically how it goes, Scorpio, you have the Ace of Pentacles first, there's no prosperity about money. Still wants to that you're feeling resilience, this is how it goes. So whether you might be dealing with a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, that's how it goes. Nine of Pentacles over, you want trust, because that's what it is. And having trust is the ability to have your own stigma of what you're doing in that way. So whether you feel comfortable, and that's how it goes. The Nine of Pentacles does represent comfortable, where you want to be comfortable, and that's how it goes, because you understand that. So whether you might be dealing with a Virgo, or Taurus, in that way, that's how it goes. The Sun card is upright as positivity, because you want that. You want to stay positive as much as you can, Scorpio, but in many ways, that's how it goes, alright? So that's how it's going to be. And the judgment is upright because you want to take action. And when you take action, that's how it goes in that way, because that's how it is. So, this is how it goes. But this is the way it works, right? This is like how it is, because that's what it seems to be. Now, the way this is, then clarify. We're going to clarify this Nine of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and this 7 ones here. One Taurus, there's no speed. Chariot sword, there's progress. 5 Cups sword, there's grief. King of Swords, there's no support. 5 of Swords sword, there's conflict. Exactly. So whether you have grief and progress, and when you have conflict, things are not going as planned. But when you have no support, that's what it seems to be. So, Scorpio, in many ways, whether you might be dealing with or generally recurs, you understand what you're going through in that way. So you understand that. By the way, this is how it goes, right? It's a difficult in a way of how it goes. So I clarify this Nine of Pentacles, the Judgment, and the Sun. Queen of Pentacles first is unprosperity about money. Nine of Cups first, you have no romance. The Nine of Cups first, there's fulfillment. Ace of Pentacles first, there's not prosperity about money. Queen of Cups first, there's empathy. There's two sides of the story here. Devil reverse is on obsession addictions. Loyalty is the Page of Cups. You want loyalty, exactly. So you want loyalty and respect. So whether you might deal with in a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, in many ways you might be dealing with it, right? So that's how it goes. Whether you choose to have romance or not, it all depends on your point of view, Scorpio. But wait, this is the way it works, right? It's the way of how you're going to do it in that way. And you think to yourself, it's like, okay, well, this is how it goes. I need to do it. I need to be strong here, no matter what it takes, because that's what it is. So, whether you think to yourself, it's like, okay, this is how it goes. I need to do it. That's what it is. So, whatever you have a strong field, that's how it goes. So, let me clarify this 5 swords here. 10 cups first, there's incompletion. 3 pentacles first, there's no excitement. Page of swords first, you already have education. Swords first, there's inspiration. 4 swords first, there's basically resting and you're healing. That's how it goes. But you understand that, right? So whether if you feel like, okay, everything is not going as planned, that's how it goes. So whether if you're focusing about, when you don't have no conflict and when you have the ability to let it go, that's what it seems to be, Scorpio. Because no matter how it goes, whether if you're facing with whatever conflict you're having, Scorpio, I understand what you're going through, and you have to believe to stay positive, because that's what you're going to do. So whether if you think that everything's going to be fine, you have to stand that, because rest will give you quality, because that will help you to heal, and that's what it's going to be from all the negativity, all the freaking conflict. That's how it goes that way, because that's what it's going to be. So let me clarify this 4 swords here. Wheel of Fortune, reverse, you're having bad luck. 4 of Swords, there's completion. 4 cups first, no distraction. 4 wands first, there's no celebration. Rushes first, there's no skill. 9 pentacles, you're feeling comfortable. Exactly. So, in that aspect, you understand if you're feeling comfortable, you want to be comfortable. You want to be who you are, because the way of this is, no matter what you're doing in that way, that's how it goes. So whether you're having bad luck, when things are not going as planned, that's how it's going to be, and that's how it goes. So whether you think to yourself, it's like, this is how it is, because this is how it is. So whether if you decide that, okay, everything's going to be fine, that's what it is, right? So whether if you think that everything's going to be fine, you have to go with the flow. And you have to go with the flow, because that's what it's going to be, okay? So what's this Page of Cups about? Page of Pentacles is upright, there's prospects. 9 of Swords, there's no drama. Taurus, there's transformation. 9 Pentacles, you want trust. 8 Cups, you want entertainment. Empress, you want nourishment. Queen of Swords, you're already showing your independence. Sun cards, there's positivity. Exactly. So if you're showing your positiveness, that's how it goes, right? So whether you're following the right way and saying, okay, well, if you're following your independence, or when you're showing your own ways, that's how it goes. And Scorpio, no matter how it goes in that way, it's like you need to understand that, because if you guide yourself, and if you are basically saying that you want guidance, or you want to focus on your career, or you're focused on romance, whatever it is, you want to stay positive, and you want to be neutral. That you want to be comfortable. You want things to take the right direction. That's how it's going to be, and that's how it goes. So whether you think to yourself, it's like, all right, this is how it goes. That's how it is. It's like, it's not going to be a never-ending story. No, but what this is, do you have to stand of how it goes? Do you have to stand about this well balanced? Because if it was, that's how it's going to be. Okay, that's how it goes, Scorpio. Now, what's in the middle of this situation? So, strangers, you want bravery. Just as yours, you're not telling the truth, you're lying about something. There's obsessions, addictions. Exactly, Scorpio. So when things are not going as planned, and you want to not make lies or anything else, you need to understand that. Because if you have violence and you're not, going as the way how it works, that's what it's going to be. So you need to understand that, because violence doesn't give you anything. It actually builds up a lot of negativity, and you're between having positive and try to jolt the way of the negativity, right? That's what it's going to be. So whether you choose to have empathy, there's always 2 sides of the story. One makes sense, one doesn't make sense. You decide. But wait, that's how it goes. So let me clarify this 9 Pentacles here. Wheel of Fortune, you're having bad luck. Okay, what's this Devil card about? The Devil's already there's obsessive addiction, so you might be focusing on another Capricorn. And the Taurus reverse, there's no healing. Okay, so the way this is, let me clarify this Wheel of Fortune. Lovers already, you're making decisions. Just already, you're telling the truth. Fool reverse, there's no change. Wheel of Fortune, you're having bad luck. Magician story, you're on skill. Taurus already, there's transformation. Star reverse is on inspiration. Strength card story, there's bravery. Exactly. So things will be coming along because you want to make decisions. You want things to be right. You want to be how it goes because that's what it is. It's like, alright, everything seems to be fine, yes. But how it goes in that way, because that's how it goes. It's like you have to show the right way in the right direction because that's how it goes, okay? Now what's this Devil card about? The reverse is on obsessions, addictions. Death reverse is no endings. Taurus reverse is no healing. Taurus, the world is over, there's completion. Emperor reverse is no structure. Moon is upright, there's misrotation. So you're basically having the moon energy here because you're focusing about what's going on. So the moon is affecting you, Scorpio. I understand what you're going through, but in many ways, that's what it seems to be. So it's like, alright, this is how it goes, but this is what it seems to be. Now it's this Temperance card about. Sun carriers is no activity. Destiny reverse is no action. Hammer reverse is no restrictions. High Priest reverse is no inner voice. Hermit is where you want to have a soulmate, like you're looking for a soulmate, and that's how it goes, Scorpio. So whether if you want a soulmate or not, that's what it seems to be. But you have to evaluate yourself. You have to do what you can because that's how it is. So let me clarify the Strength card here. Righteous story, you on skill. Hermit is already their solitude, so you're looking for a soulmate. Death carriers is no endings. Sun carriers is an activity. Exactly, that's how it goes. So if you're focusing another, in the hermit mode and you're looking for a soulmate, or if you're focusing on Libra or whoever you're focusing on, Scorpio, I understand what you're going through because that's what it's going to be. So whether you're in between negativity and not negativity, that's what it is because you need to be positive and that's how it goes, right? So whether things be good, that's how it goes. What is this Moon card about? Moon is already there's manifestations. Taurus are you want progress. Lower reverse is no decisions. Taurus reverse is no transformation. And Hangman is alright. You want restrictions, yeah, because you're being restricted on things to be happening all once. That's what it is. So it's like, alright, this is how it goes. Because when you have restrictions, being restricted about, you can't do this or you don't want to do that or whatever it is because you have restrictions, and that's what it seems to be. What's this Hermit card about? Emperor's reverse is no nourishment. Emperor's heard their structure. High Priest you're using in your voice. No judgment because you're not taking action. Fool is alright, there's change. Starriers, there's no inspiration. Hereford, there's no guidance. Strength of yours is no bravery, so being scared. Just sorry you're telling the truth. Exactly. So you have to remain in that society and you have to know what's going on because if you're in between negative, positive, telling the truth, that's how it goes. But you're not trying to make a blight. You're not trying to. But the way this is, Scorpio, you need to understand what you're going through in that way because in that way you think to yourself, alright, well, this is how it goes. This is the way it works. Yes, but how it's going to be, right? It's like, there's a good saying is nothing is possible to make it possible. And you understand that, right? So you have to regulate your own emotions. Whether if you think about the positive, go with the positive. If you think about the negative, everything will crash down, right? From your head to your toes. And, you're saying, well, it was me, I can't do it more, or, that's how it goes. But in many ways, Scorpio, you have to pay attention to what you're going through in that way, right? So that's what it is, right? So you understand what you're going through in that way, okay? Now let's see what the universe is saying. I'm going from the middle to the right, middle to left. Hermit reverse, you already have a soulmate. Knight Pentacles are you on trust. Five Cups are you on grief. Tarot reverse is on transformation. Queen of Swords reverse, there's no independence. Page Pentacles are there's prospects. 5 Wands reverse is no chaos. 4 Cups reverse is no destruction. The Empress reverse is no nourishment. Ten of Cups reverse, there's no delusion. Cherry reverse, there's no progress. Two of Swords is upright because you don't know which path you're going to take, left or right. So Nine of Wands reverse, there's no fear. Ten of Swords already, you want conclusions. Moon's over, there's misrotations. Exactly. So you're between having conclusions, having misrotations. That's how it goes. So that's what it's going to be. What's between the middle and the left side? Ace of Swords, you want to have an understanding. High Priestess is over, you're using your voice. Nine of Swords is over, there's trauma here. Three Pentacles, there's no excitement. King Pentacles, there's no insecurity. Nine Cups first, there's no romance. Page Swords first, there's no education. Ten Cups first, there's no incompletion. Ace of Pentacles first, there's no growth, or there's growth. And you have the Sun card here, there's negativity. So I'm going to clarify that Sun card. Page of Wands first, there's no invention. Seven of Swords first, there's no deceit. Four of Wands there's celebration. Six of Pentacles first, there's no kindness. So you're being disrespectful and you're being rude. That's how it goes as Scorpio. So let me focus about that. Six of Pentacles. Five of Swords over, there's revenge. Yeah, because you want conflict. Queen of Pentacles over, you want stability. Swords over, there's inspiration. Emperor reverse, there's no structure. Four of Swords, it's over recuperation. Exactly, you're going to recuperate after that fight. You know, that's how it goes. So you understand what you're going through in that way because that's how it is. So, you know, things are not going as planned, but that's how it goes. And you have the Queen of Wands first, there's no charisma. Two Wands, you want planning. Six Wands first, there's no achievement. Seven card first, there's no bravery, being scared. King of Swords first, there's no knowledge. Nine Pentacles, you're feeling comfortable. Eight Cups first, there's no introspection. Justice, you're taking action. Ace of Cups, there's satisfaction. Six of Cups is upright, there's the past. Exactly. So, you know, you're drawn into the past, right? And when things are not going as planned, Scorpio, you're drawing into the past, right? The past is not so good, but what this is, that's what it's going to be, right? So you have to focus on the here and now equation, right? You have to focus on that because in many ways you think to yourself, it's like, well, you know, I need to do it. I need to focus on that. If you focus on the past, everything is going to be circling around you, right? Everything is going to be circling around your head, and you're seeing stars, right? That's how it goes. Or you might be getting so dizzy, whatever it is. So Scorpio, you have to remain that if you're focusing on yourself and you're focusing about the negativity, the positivity, the past, whatever it is, you're trying to not make exceptions. But the way of this is, you are. And you have to understand that because you're not playing games here. You're not. But what this is, you have to focus on that. If you're focusing about playing games with somebody, for example, and you want to be acting to be kind, then you understand that. But you know what, Scorpio, if you act like you're being all negative, if you have, being unkind, if you're being untruth, if you're making lies, whatever it is, things are not going as planned, right? That's how it goes. So if you think about the past, that's what the universe is saying. Because the way of this is, that's how it goes. So that's how it goes. So I hope you all like this video. Try to give it a like and a comment if you want, but this is how it goes in that way, and that's how it goes. So I hope you all like this video. Please give a like, please leave a comment if you want, and this is how it's going to be in that way. That's how it goes. So thank you so much, thank you, and have a nice day, and I'll see you next time I do. And that's how it goes in that way, and that's how it is. So thank you so much, thank you, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye for now, everybody. Thank you, have a nice day. Thanks, and thank you, and bye.